Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
From carrying each other to a natty to carrying each other on the air.
Flynn is back to throw for the end zone goal.
Live from the Raising Cane studio, it's Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in hour number 3 of OTB here live from the Raising Cane studio. Always want to remind you about our friends over at Pala. PalaGroup.com is the website. We always talk about Pala being 100% employee-owned. We talk about what they do here in the Gulf Coast region since the 1970s. But if 100% employee-owned sounds good to you, well, guess what? Matthew's got some good news for you.
Yeah, so y'all know about Pala Industrial. Steel fabrication, precision piping, helical piles, tanks, vessels, industrial construction, maintenance. Always delivering those results. Right now, Pala is absolutely rolling, growing like crazy. Projects all over the place. Major capital projects across the Gulf Coast, across the Midwest. And just remember, because of this growth, Pala is hiring, and they're hiring the best. So if you are an experienced welder, pipe fitter, iron worker, project manager, estimator, planner, QC professional, and looking to take your career to that next level with a company that loves to raise and give from within, all employees within, employee-owned, relationship-driven, palagroup.com, P-A-L-A group.com.
All right, let's get to our guy, Nick Underhill. New Orleans Football joins us every single Tuesday at 9 a.m. And, well, big day yesterday for the New Orleans Saints, and so I'm sure he has been working fast and furious. Glad to have you on. Nicholas, how you doing, sir?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. I don't think I've ever been as excited to see a guard get signed as I have over the last 24 hours for the New Orleans Saints. It was a position of desperate need, and you go get the top guy on the market, and you get him for a pretty nice price there. What a win for Mickey Loomis and the Saints.
Yeah, no, huge. All right, I'm hearing myself back through here, and I can't. I can't talk right now. Can you guys call me on the phone or something?
We'll call you on the phone. We'll call you. We'll make sure we'll get that done.
Diva.
He's like, allow myself to hear myself.
What's going on with our tech?
Ever since we put in these new cough drops.
He looked very flustered.
He looked like he had seen a ghost.
Mm-hmm. He heard his voice for the first time. That's how I feel every time I hear my voice. Like, wow.
So when I first moved here, I still did my Shreveport show before it was syndicated. Like I did it, and then I did this show, and I used to do it down in the old ESPN studio. Mm-hmm. Well, they couldn't ever figure out why I was getting feedback. So I would actually, the entire show, I would hear feedback on a 1-second delay from what I was saying.
Oh.
So I was doing it where I'd say something, take the headphone off, and then put it back on. I did that for like months, and they told me they couldn't figure it out. Feels like an easy fix.
Yeah. There's a new updated cord.
They never did. But anyways, we got Nick Underhill, New Orleans Football, with us now. Nicholas, how you doing? Glad we got you on the phone. Sorry about that. The New Orleans Saints signed a guard, and they desperately needed to sign a guard. They got the best guard available, and they got him for a pretty good price.
Yeah, no, definitely like one of those moves that just makes you feel better about the whole entire operation. And I don't think David Edwards is like a savior. I don't think he's a top 10 guard in the NFL or anything like that. Like, I think he's really good. I think he's the right age. I think he's a very good player. But just like in terms of what was available out there, he was the premier piece, and I think you go get him. And I think what he does is that it's a definitive problem solver. At worst, it's you don't have to worry about guard anymore. At best, like, he thrives in the system and all that stuff, and you know, fits in along some other guys, and they become a really good group. But it just feels like the guy at that right age, at that right price, at that right talent level, where like all the axes met, and you go out and you get them, and it's not like a reckless signing. It's foundational. It's the right timeline. It's all these things, and I just. You know, that's a spot where I don't want him to play around with. Like, you can't afford to have those kind of variances there when you're trying to get a rookie, now a second-year quarterback settled in. And, you know, I think he goes a long way toward doing that. And in terms of pass pro, like Cesar Ruiz's issues aren't really in pass pro. I think he's decent there. It's the run blocking with him that needs to be way, way better. So I think like pass pro, all five, if Banks takes that step that you're looking for him to take, if Fuaga stays healthy, Edwards, if McCoy, I guess as we're going through it, there's still a decent amount of ifs. But I think overall, like the pieces are there for them to actually be pretty good. And you're not pinning your hopes to Trevor Penning anymore, who I can't believe he signed on day one of free agency, by the way. But yeah, I think that was a huge move for them. Like it's shifting and it settles like the most unsettling spot on the team.
Yeah, Nick, so I'm watching, I think I was watching Pat McAfee yesterday when I was sitting in my office, and I'm watching, like, just the news flood in. Like, there was something happening every 30 seconds, it seemed like. And, like, to my shock and awe, and I was very happy about it. Like, a lot of Saints news came in within that first hour. So the Saints make three moves, like, within that first hour, which tells me they identified somebody at that position. They made the move, they made the offer, and signed their first choice. And we just talked about David Edwards at guard, a punter, Ryan Wright, and then Travis Etienne, of course, at running back. So, like, to me, it seems like they identified somebody, the top on their list, and they got it done within the first hour of this thing opening up. So, like, is that how you, like, saw the whole thing going down yesterday?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I mean, like those were the two guys leaving the combine that we really felt like these are the guys that are going to end up go getting. Is Etienne and Edwards were the two guys that I thought they would definitely target. The punter surprised me. It's like going out and getting Wright. That wasn't necessarily something that I was.
There was like 4 punters signed in like the first hour yesterday across the NFL.
Yeah, like Gillikin was one of them. Like, and that's something that they absolutely had to do though. Like that's going to be. If he's the guy he was in Minnesota, like I think you just solved one of your other biggest problems. The way they approached special teams last year was embarrassing, and that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, look, the running back I think makes a ton of sense too, and I think the thing that makes the most sense here is well, here, let me ask you guys this: going back to 2022, how many 30-yard runs do you think the Saints have had by a running back?
Oh my gosh, by a running back, I would say less than 5, it feels like. I mean, I know that number is incredibly low, but
the way that question was asked, it's low.
1. Okay, wow.
And the runner was Audric Estime.
So it just happened.
Their 130-yard run since 2022. And you know, at the end, he's got 12 over the same span. He's at a 70-yarder. So I think you get a home run hitter there. So that's one part of it. And then the other thing, too, is last year I think we a lot of Tuesday mornings we were talking about the run game, and the thing I kept saying is, boy, they keep trying to run inside zone from shotgun, and that's just not Alvin Kamara's game. If you do the breakdown of all his runs by type and formation, and that's his absolute worst run. It's the thing Etienne does best. Like he's excellent at that, and that's where he thrives from. So I think, to your point, like they identified a guy that fit, and then they go out and get him, which, yeah, obviously that's what you should be doing. But, a lot of times in free agency, you see people just making splashes and going for guys, and, they just collect players and kind of hope for the best. Like, I think the Saints are being aggressive, but I think they're being really smart about it too. And it just feels a little bit tailor-made all the way across the board. And, it's going to be interesting to see how those two fit together. I think that there's a very tailored role for Alvin where I think he can still be a very, very excellent player. You kind of get him in those right spots. The outside zone is what he's really good at. Get him out there in that. I think you can put both those guys on the field and kind of create some stuff formationally. And now you got 2 tight ends too with Juwan and Fant. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do to open up the field with those guys and kind of get the personnel out there on defense that you want and then dictate some of the action. So I think it just opens up a lot of creativity, but also like the Alvin situation, I don't know if we're reading tea leaves, we shouldn't, or if you're trying to connect dots because he's 29, but like the way they handled his contract and then bringing in this guy, like it looks, there's at least, as a reporter, you got to say, like, I wonder what's going on here. Like, is there something going on? Sometimes there's not, often there's not, but it certainly has a rock there now that I'm trying to look under and figure out what's going on. Like it does feel different. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But yeah, I think with those two guys, I think your offense has changed. And then Fant on top of that, like, man, one of the things they really did great last year, I thought was attacking up the seams. Like that was the play every time they came out in the third quarter. It's like, wow, why are they all of a sudden moving the ball? And it's like, they just started viciously attacking them seams. And I think you got two of those guys now with Fant and Juwan. The thing I like about Fant, going again with the whole fit thing, that was the guy they were trying to sign last year. They brought him in for a visit, and he just ended up picking Cincinnati instead. So, like, it's a guy you identified that was available, and then a year later, like, he's still, on your radar as a guy. It wasn't just like we need a tight end. It was like, no, they actually like this guy, and they're bringing him in 4.5 40 many years ago. But I mean, that's a lot of speed. He blocks. He's a solid receiver. So I think now just your offense isn't just all 11 personnel, or when you go 12, it isn't. You got one tight end that can catch a pass. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff they can do now.
Nick Underhill, NewOrleans.football is our guest here on OTB. All right, so after free agency, now we're kind of turning our attention maybe to the draft, and there's still going to be more in free agency, certainly. But after day one, what does that do for the Saints draft? We were talking about it a little bit earlier. I know there's teams that are certainly right behind New Orleans that have major positions of need, that the Saints also kind of have a need there, and so they could be a team that teams could try to call to try to trade with in the draft, just not Mickey's MO. We know that. But we're talking about maybe Mansour Delane out of LSU, maybe corner. You lose Alontae Taylor there. You need somebody that's a top-tier corner. Where do you think they turn their attention to coming up in April?
Yeah, he becomes more interesting. He was always someone that he's in that mix. Like, he's definitely in that bubble of guys you're looking at 8. So I can see that for sure. I do think what I've heard is that their preference for their slot players that it's more of a safety type, that they want it to be more of like an overhang type player that can do some stuff there. So I don't know how that affects things, but if you can get a top tier corner, like I think there's room for competition. Even as much as I like Kool-Aid and Quincy Riley, like I think there's definitely competition, even if it's just on those outside spots. So my door will be open to that. My door is wide open to Sonny Styles, especially now, that DeMario's gone. Look, I don't think it closes the door to anything, honestly. Like, I would still, all the guys I was looking at before, I'm still looking at. And if you think Jeremiah Love is far and away the best player, like, just draft him. Who cares if you already got two guys? One of them's out of here in a year. 2017, they signed Adrian Peterson. They had Mark Ingram in his prime, new contract. I think he signed that in 15, so he's still on a fresh deal. And they didn't just draft Alvin, they traded back in to get him. And, that worked out pretty well, too. So just get the absolute best player you can. I think they're in a position now where they can really do that in the first 2 rounds. I don't think you're pigeonholed to anything, but I think you're still wide open enough that you can do anything. I think they're kind of in an advantageous situation in terms of building, because, like, it isn't, you got to get the tackle, going to trade up a week before the draft and we're just going to take whatever tackle's there and it's Trevor Penning. Like, you don't need to approach it like that. So I think they can still kind of do anything. I badly need the wide receiver still. I think that's a major need. But I think they can do anything. But yeah, I like Delane there quite a bit. I mean, I think that's a position where they can get a lot better at. And I was definitely surprised that Alontae got $20 million a year, but good for him. I just don't think he was worth that to the Saints.
What kind of deal do you think the Saints offered Demario Davis to stay?
Well, I don't think they probably overextended themselves too much. I mean, $11 million's a decent amount, but it's not. That's not a number. If you told me a week ago, I wouldn't have thought it was preventative. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm really surprised he went to the Jets. Like, I thought he was gonna leave, but I thought it was gonna be to the Rams or something like that. The Jets was surprising to me. So I mean, that kind of tells me a couple things. Like, I don't think that they were fighting to keep him too hard. Like, I think they wanted to keep him, but they can say whatever they want at a podium, but like, your actions are your actions, and your actions are the truth. And they didn't want to go to $12 million a year or whatever. And it's tough. Like, if you're a team in their situation, like, it's just kind of hard to articulate, because, like, I don't want to sound like I'm coming down on him or anything like that. Like, a great player, great locker room guy, Hall of Famer, Ring of Honor, Saints Hall of Famer, Canton. Like, I really think he's done enough to get into the actual Hall of Fame. I think he's, people I've watched just in my actual lifetime. Like, I can't go back to the 70s and, all these great linebackers back then, but in my lifetime, a top 5 linebacker. I also think if you're a team that's in the middle of a rebuild, if they had signed a 37-year-old that played for a different team, we would have been like, what are they doing? Like, I know it's your own guy, so it's a little bit different, but I'd rather eject a year early than a year late, like where they're at right now. In 2018, if you're a Super Bowl contender, like I'd rather be maybe late on some of those things than early, because you're trying to maximize your today. But I think the Saints got to be thinking about tomorrow as well as today right now. And I just don't know. I don't know what year 2 of that looks like. And you drafted Danny Stutzman. You're trying to get him in there. You're trying to see what he looks like. So, I mean, like, there's things that make sense here to me. And I also, at the same time, I think it's a catastrophic loss just in terms of, like, identity. Because Cam's still a free agent too. Like, if both those guys leave, like, who are you? Who are your leaders? Like, you got Reed, and I don't think there's anyone else like that I really look at is this guy's a leader on the team. Both sides of the ball. Foster Moreau was like the leader of the offense. I don't know if he's coming back now that they got Fant. So I don't know where the leadership is at all on this team right now. So, I mean, I think that's a bigger deal to me than maybe the on-field. I think you can replace the on-field. I think they'll obviously be a little bit worse. I think there's probably a reality where if their linebackers don't work out, like, their run defense could be a disaster, because, like, their front wasn't great and they were winning a lot on run defense because DeMario's so great at diagnosing and anticipating. But I don't think the range is quite there the way it was either. Like, I don't think he allowed a lot of bleeding, but, like, when he allowed bleeding, it probably bled a little bit more than it should have. And we'll just see where that access goes going forward. But look, if you told me he gets another 2-year deal after this one, I would absolutely believe it, because of the way he takes care of his body, the way he prepares, all that stuff. And I think even just that, going back like to what's lost, like that example, I think is a huge loss, even beyond the on-field. So I think it's all the stuff behind the scenes that scares me more than like what's on the field.
Action speaks
so
loud.
I don't even know what the question was, but I'm writing. Yeah,
it's like action speaks so loud for the Saints. I really can't hear what you're saying. Like, nobody's choosing the Jets over a team that they're going to be in the Ring of Honor for, like, if it's a competitive offer. So that tells me there was not a competitive offer from the Saints.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I mean, like, exactly. Like, if it's 10, 11 million and you got a team on its way to winning versus what are the Jets doing, by the way? Like, this is exactly the example too. Like, you don't want to be making a move like that to try to save yourself, like, because the head coach and the GM are afraid of getting fired, so they're signing a 37-year-old from another team. Yeah. But you don't want to be that team. That's not how you want to be building your roster right now. Yeah. I'm shocked on all ends on that. Like, why are the Jets making that move, and, like, why is DeMario going there? So, yeah, I mean, it does. Yeah, it tells you that the market isn't quite what it was, and the most desperate team made the most desperate offer. And, I'm just really surprised that he's going there. But look, he deserves it. He's at the end of his career. Like, set up your security, and I can't argue with the logic, but I was surprised by it.
We were talking a little bit earlier because, okay, he goes to the Jets. What do you do at linebacker? Like, Stutzman doesn't seem like somebody that's ready to be the full-time Mike linebacker. You've got some options. You've got the Bobby Wagner, Levante David, Caden Ellis reunion. There's guys out there that you can sign to a 1-2 year deal that would be that veteran presence to kind of replace what Demario Davis was for you. And we talked about the leadership role just then as well. They give you kind of both of those things. Is that the path you see the Saints going down?
I think they could definitely add at that position. I know there was like a lot of Devin Lloyd rumors. I have a pretty strongly that they were not in that market, so I don't think they were kicking the wheels there at all. But I could definitely see him making a move there, and I think probably these next couple of days, like I think we're probably going to see some defense additions. I won't be surprised to see a kicker and a returner added to the team too. And as it pertains to the draft, like I think probably the odds of if there's a coin flip, I think defense probably wins early now, just given what you've kind of done offensively. But like I'm pleased with the way they're building the team, because look, the headline to me, like everything is, what are they doing for the young quarterback? And I have major concerns about the defense. Like you lost the corner and you lost the linebacker. Like their defense is objectively going to be worse right now until they make other moves. So yeah, I think they're definitely going to do some things. I think they got to add to it, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see, just even if it's like a mid-tier linebacker that you're like, all right, well, this guy gives like a decent baseline, like an AJ Klein type player. Like you put him out there, probably not going to define your defense, but he's going to at least plug the gap. And then Stutzman can compete with him, and either he beats him out or he doesn't, and you're okay either way. Like, I think at the very least that needs to happen. Now, if you have a chance to elevate there, I think you got to take it. But, yeah, both those spots, man, like, they're – and those are the two energy players, too, on the defense. DeMario brought his own brand of energy. You know, I think it was like kind of like having the angel and the devil energy. Like, I think, you know, DeMario brought the God energy and Alante brought the demon energy. But, like, where's the energy on the defense? And I think that really matters, too.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, let's get the free agency crystal ball out. Let's get a Nick prediction. Nick Stradamus. Here we go.
He worked on that.
What other? Yeah, workshopped it yesterday. What other moves do you see them making? What positions do you see them making, if any?
Yeah, I think they're going to get a kicker. I think they need to get a returner. I think, like I was saying, like the way they approached special teams last year was borderline embarrassing. You know, they tried with the punter, so I'll give them credit for that. You know, kicker went sideways on them, but like you cut JT Gray, you change schemes, all your special teams linebackers no longer fit and get cut, and you just had a bunch of guys out there, and it was a disaster. Like, so they got to invest there. Like that's a bad area, and they already have. So on that, you know, that's a plus. I think we'll see some type of receiver too somewhere. I know they got a bunch of lottery tickets on the roster, but they got to get somebody else there, and I think just that linebacker at some level, I think that's definitely something they got to do too. Also, the rundown of moves that you were talking about before, we shortchanged John Ridgeway. That was the very first move they made in free agency. Yeah. They re-signed the backup DT for like $6 million over 2 years. So that was wild. Like all these moves are hitting, and it's like John Ridgeway. It's like, all right, like this is where it starts.
Sorry, John. My bad, John.
When's the fullback signing?
They don't use a fullback, man.
I don't care. When's the signing?
God.
Did you see that the Morgan Freeman documentary on Netflix about dinosaurs? Like there was a whole episode on fullback.
Okay, hey, the team that you cover didn't make the postseason.
It's been nice having you as a guest.
There was 4 teams left in the postseason. 3 of them carried fullbacks. The Super Bowl champion kept 2 fullbacks on their 53-man roster the entire season. Both 1 seeds had a fullback. So, hey, maybe the Saints could learn something, Nick.
Maybe we should send in some video to Morgan. You can like narrate you in your natural environment, like just very, very soothing.
Yeah, you're right. And
walking into work,
and then we'll have both fullbacks hold up the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the year. Be the final scene, both of them. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Nick. I'm sorry. I got to apologize for my co-host here. It's really.
So 85% of the teams that made the postseason carried a fullback, and then we want to. Talk about a top 10 pick. Didn't carry one. Okay.
Yeah, look, I'll give it you the Kubiak Shanahan offense. Like, they've brought you guys back to life a little bit. There's a little bit of glory there.
Yeah, Alec Ingold signed $7.5 million yesterday. But anyways, all right, Nick, we appreciate you. Thank you, sir. We'll catch up again next week.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Guess you hate championships. That's weird.
Brought him back to life. There was a fullback.
Alec Ingold signed for 2 years, $7.5 million with the Los Angeles Chargers yesterday.
I like the dinosaurs, though.
They made the playoffs.
There was a mosquito that was.
You hate winning. That's fine.
A fossil in what is it? Was it amber? Some old sap.
So you're telling John Snyder doesn't know how to do his job when he had 2 fullbacks on the 53-man roster? That's weird. Both 1 seeds had a fullback. Both teams in the Super Bowl had a fullback. That's weird.
Sensitivity, fine.
No, just sticking up for my people. The loyalty deal.
Sensitivity.
We know everybody's got to have a quarterback.
A couple of them.
Yeah, well, a couple fullbacks on the champion. All right, we'll take a break. More OTB when we come back here live from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the bench.
Go to gcopnet.com. Gulf Coast Office Products, the leader in office solutions here in the Gulf region. Saints, Pelicans, LSU, Raging Cajuns, all trust GCOP. You should as well. Law firms, engineering firms, universities, banks, hospitals. If you deal with documents, you know how important it is to your lifeline. So only deal with the best. And the best is going to be GCOP every single time. You can actually get in contact with them. The person you talk to the first time is going to be the person that gets you to your solution. Go to the website today, gcopnet.com.
All right, Gulf Coast Office Products. We tell you every day about how amazing of a company they are. We can talk about their technology. We can talk about, the different types of printers and scanners and copiers that they send all over the country. But what really sets them apart is their award-winning service team. If something happens at your office, the worst thing that can happen is if that paper trail stops for any significant period of time. They are local. They can get on it fast. Award-winning service and get you up and running ASAP. GCOPnet.com.
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn, presented by Community Steel.
Welcome back in. OTB here live from the Raising Cane studio. Don't forget, how could you ever forget about our friends over at Rouse's? I don't know if you saw my story on Instagram yesterday, but we went to Rouse's. Harlow got 97 things because she saw so many things she liked at Rouse's and walked out proudly with a bag. We had a dump truck. We got Easter eggs. Let's see. She got 3 things. A coloring book. There's everything at Rouse's. Rouse's.com is the website. Go there today to see which location is nearest you. Then once you find that location, check out those weekly ads, those weekly specials. We always say it right when you walk in. You know where you're at. I mean, it is set up for success. Like your Mardi Gras season, the king cakes, right there. Right, crawfish season, you walk in, like all of that, like the bag crawfish, potatoes, corn, it's right there. The breakfast bar, the salad bar, the lunch bar. So many local options for you as well. They are the absolute best here in the Gulf Coast region, and you can find the location that is nearest you, rouses.com.
USA?
Don't give me that 1 second. I'll start calling you Musso. Can't figure out the tech over there.
USA.
In the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
They defeat Mexico for the
United
first time in a
States.
long time. Mexico kind of had their number in baseball, a lot like U.S. has their number in soccer. But they finally get it done. I believe 5-3
5-3
was the final score. So that was very fun to watch last night. Stayed up right before you go to bed. See a little Team USA action. There's a couple of brawls in the stands, too.
Yeah, I did see that.
Some pretty good videos. But look, the World Baseball Classic's been a lot of fun, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. We talk about it all the time. We played like the literal one professional sport you can't really represent your country in, which kind of sucks. Always wanted to do that. But it's so cool to see the passion that everybody has. And by the way, I do want to talk about the players trying to shake the catcher's hands and the catcher saying no and everybody kind of getting up in arms, because yesterday there was a pair of Seattle Mariner teammates that the batter tried to shake the catcher's hand. He's like, no. And everybody's like, what's going on here? Well, the reason is the catcher doesn't want to get pine tar on his hand and then get it on the ball and then throw it back to the ball. Then the pitcher's in a situation because there's a substance on the ball on his hand. And so it makes a lot of sense whenever they actually like break it down. There's no beef between teammates. He's like, I didn't want to get a bunch of pine tar on my hand.
I don't know. You could fist bump. You could bump the outside the glove.
But he stuck his hand out, so that's
yeah, but there's a lot of awkward white guy handshakes out there. Like you could fist bump it.
He didn't want to be a meme.
And then his teammate after the game actually talked a lot of ish about him and told him to GTH basically.
GTH. Get
no, go to HE double hockey sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, he didn't want to get pine tar on his hand. Chill out, bro. Here is an incredible video.
Oh, wait. I didn't know we were doing a video.
What?
I didn't know we were doing a video, so I had to get this out.
Good. Mm-hmm. Here is an incredible video of Paul Skeens warming up to the Top Gun theme music. That's awesome.
Fantastic. Of course, Paul Skeens, Air Force.
The Air Force baseball team was in attendance.
Yep, the entire Air
In
Force
their
baseball
uniform.
team.
Well, jerseys.
Fantastic.
There's 2 players that had experience playing for the Air Force.
Mm-hmm. So clearly he wanted to do that. To that song.
Even though, like, Top Gun's part of the Navy, but still, it doesn't
Fine,
take
it
away
doesn't
from
matter.
the awesomeness.
I got planes. Fly in the air.
They do, yeah.
Oh, so good.
And then he goes out there and strikes out 7 in 4 innings.
Oh yeah, strikes out the most of by any U.S. pitcher in the last 3 World Baseball Classics. So did pretty decent, just on another level. I think. And yesterday, he plays for the Pirates, so of course here at LSU we all know him, and people know him because of the Cy Young. But I don't know if people. It's kind of like Trout and Shohei when they were the Angels. I don't know if people all over the country have actually sat down and watched him pitch in a big time game before ever. Outside of Louisiana and outside of Pirate fans, right?
I mean, there's not really any big games that the Pirates are in.
Yeah, like Kevin
And they
Durant
still have
was
a governor on him for
And
some
they
reason.
they traded McCutcheon, or they didn't re-sign McCutcheon, which I don't know what that organization's doing, but
Well, I mean, they're one of the worst in history. But
it was just funny, to see their response
not history,
about
but lately.
Skeens on social media.
Yeah.
I know Kevin Durant was in the stands because they kept showing it, but
Yeah.
he tweeted out "Wow, Skeens is a dog." People, this is the first time people are watching him
Yeah.
pitch. He's he does this every time he goes out there. But
welcome to Paul Skeens.
welcome to Paul Skeens' moment.
Did you see
last night.
the Paul Skeens notorious for being just straight faced, no emotions, just a very serious about his business guy. Did you see him smiling at your boy yesterday?
Oh, yeah, that
At
guy.
Bobby Witt Jr.?
Witt, my new guy.
Maybe you can find. I don't know if we've ever seen Paul Skeens smile before.
It was
don't know either. But
Yeah,
meme
not even
worthy.
after winning.
yeah.
But
Yeah, they have there was going to social media. There's a still shot with him sitting next to
With
Livy
Livy?
Dunn, and just
when he got drafted or
stone-faced.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Find
she was
someone-
sitting there smiling,
all like-
clapping.
To be fair,
Paul's yeah.
I think that's
cool.
actually when he won Rookie of the
It was.
Oh,
it
was
was.
it?
It was.
Okay,
yeah.
I
Rookie
thought
of
it
the
was
year.
because
Because
there's
nobody
two.
would smile
There's-
getting drafted by the Pirates.
Well, there was one where he got drafted, and then the
probably
rookie of the
multiple,
year
yeah.
one was when he made an effort to not look that way.
Speaking of
The
effort,
rookie of the year
he's
one was
effortlessly pitching out there. That's what makes it so cool.
Yeah.
Not just the emotion, but it looks so
No, his mechanics are unreal.
chill.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why. I mean, he's going to play.
That's why we said
So-
those small boys need to be pitching in the high 90s.
Look at this Paul Skeens smile.
when he
That's as much as you're getting.
To your point
That's
about
a
no
lot.
small boys, somebody in the chat made a good point. They're like, Paul Skeens left the Air Force because he realized he's too big to be a fighter pilot.
right. Well, so I see so Huck's playing baseball, so I get a lot of these youth baseball things fed to me.
Yeah.
I see a lot of these high school kids that are throwing 98, 99, and it looks so hard.
Yeah.
Their arm's about to rip off their shoulder when they're
Yeah.
doing this, or at least their elbow. And then, but you see Paul Skeens do it, he's a bigger guy. His mechanics are perfect, and it's just very effortless. If you can effortlessly do it, you should do it. If you have to create it with so much whip that you're not gonna be able to lift your arm up at 30,
Yeah.
you shouldn't do it.
Well, you should just
You
get
should-
paid until 30.
Yeah. You should read Huck his letter that he wrote to the Little Leaguers
Who did?
on
Paul?
the Players Tribune. Yeah.
Ooh.
Paul did.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Didn't see that.
It's
I
good.
Like that.
It's fine.
The Players Tribune is such a good platform that they made.
I agree wholeheartedly. I
I love the Players Tribune.
I would love for LouisianaSports.net to have something if we could partner. I know it's hard to partner now in the NIL age, but if we could partner, I thought about that. If we could partner with LSU athletes or Louisiana athletes, doesn't have to be LSU, to do something like that once every however so often, every couple of weeks, I think that would be well received.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. I love it. I enjoy reading it. I don't read a lot. I read that.
I'm pretty sure Derek Jeter is the one who made it. The Players Tribune.
All right. Say Derek. Say Captain.
Anyway, I loved the game last night.
World Baseball
I'm a
Classic's
baseball guy.
awesome.
I'm a stitch head now,
Yeah.
guys. I was locked in. It felt like October playoff
Yeah,
baseball.
when you text us, hey, is Bobby Witt Jr. this good all the time? I was like, oh, he's in. He's in deep.
Bobby Witt Jr., I'm your guy.
Jersey?
I'm your guy.
Do we know what team he plays for yet? I can tell you
yeah,
if you don't.
the Royals.
Kansas
He has
City.
the card. That's why he knew.
Ah.
Because I said, he asked that, and I
lot of
said
case
Bobby
hits.
Witt Jr. would be a
Lot of
really
case
good card
hits.
to have right now.
Yeah.
Bobby Witt Jr. cased it a lot of times, and I was real disgusted.
Matt tried to pawn it off on
because
the
you didn't
laundry.
have
He was like, I got
Kansas City
one, but
spot.
it's for sale.
Yeah.
I got one.
He was
Yeah.
like, hey,
I was wondering.
Did
but
y'all
like,
see the Dominican Republic though, just absolutely dominating?
Oh
they
yeah, I
beat
mean
Israel.
Yeah,
it's going to be Dominican Republic,
Bombs.
Japan, and USA. Those are going to be the three teams
Yeah.
that are left.
Two now.
Two now?
Two now.
Damn. I don't have a line.
Dropping bombs.
All right. On that note, we'll take a break.
USA.
More OTB when we come back here live from the Raising Cane's studio.
Off the bench.
All right, go to FABT.com. That is the website for First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910. One of the things we love about them, so you're going to get everything that you would get with any other big national bank. Whatever, like online banking and all the tools that are right there at your fingertips. Like, you're going to get all that. Safeguard on your debit card, personal loans, bank loans. It doesn't really matter. Like investments, you get all of that. But you get it with the customer service of somebody that's right here in local, making decisions locally, not on both coasts, not up in the big cities. We're talking about right here, local people making those big decisions for you. Go to FABT.com.
Yeah, if you are looking for a business loan, maybe you're looking for a personal loan, a mortgage, something like that. If you're growing your family, you need a bigger house. Growing your business, you need inventory, you need working capital, whatever it is. Make sure you're dealing with a bank that's making local decisions. Like Jake said, not somewhere in New York, not somewhere in Chicago. Local decisions right here. First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com.
Left, we want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Off the bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Presented by Community Steel.
All right, welcome back in. OTB here live from the Raising Cane studio. Tuesday shows brought to you by Community Steel. CommunitySteelCo.com is the website. Check it out today right here in Gonzales, Louisiana. I would assume later on today, typically happens this way because we're the morning show. We get it. There's going to be another wave of free agent signings in the National Football League. Looking forward to that. Some of the big spenders in the first day, the Saints were included in that list, but the Raiders, they spent dollar bills.
They spent more than Titans?
You want to talk about completely resetting the market for centers? Tyler Lindenbaum, I mean, they blew past whatever the previous record was. And so the Raiders, and I actually think they had to. I talked about this on NFL radio yesterday. They didn't really have a choice. They kind of had to do it. Like, Fernando Mendoza is going to be the number one overall pick. Ashton Genty is a top 10 back. You have a lot of assets in. Like, you had to fortify the offensive line. You didn't really have a choice. So you go pay Tyler Lindenbaum more than any center's ever made by a lot. You're probably going to draft one at 14 with the pick you got for Max Crosby after you select Fernando Mendoza number one overall. Because even if you have other needs, you have to protect your biggest assets, which are going to be the quarterback you took 1-1 and the running back you took in the top 10.
I didn't even know about this. Tyler Linderbaum, 3-year, $81 million to play the center position. Now, the center, don't get it twisted.
The Raiders, by the way, to your question, they spent $322 million on 8 players. The Titans spent $270 million on 7 players.
The center position is wildly important.
Yep.
They have to be smart. I was always, the notion was the closer you get to the ball, the higher football IQ you have to have. Yeah. There's just more things you have to know. So of course the center and the quarterback, the only two people that touch the ball every single play. The center position is wildly important. The center position is not as important as the Raiders just made it.
Okay.
3 years, $81 million.
Now, they did have a lot of money to spend. They had the top 3 cap.
I got it. I got you. But at the center position, I don't know who they were bidding against, for one. He gets paid way more than any center ever has.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're rewarding him or what, but the center from a physical standpoint is probably I don't even want to say the easiest position because they're all really hard. It's the least hard position physically. You get the least amount of one-on-one battles.
Yeah.
You get help from each guard on either side of you. I was just part of multiple teams that had experienced other linemen and would throw in a rookie or a young guy center who was smart and could make all the calls. They could handle anything, but with the help that they get on their left and right shoulder all the time, hey, if you're paying $25+ million, you need to. Usually, that consists of a guy that has to be physically more gifted.
I will say I was in a completely different scenario. We had Nick Hardwick, who was like a very veteran player, All-Pro, Pro Bowl guy. And then we had Dan Copen, who was Tom Brady's center for a long time. And then he came to us in Denver at the end of his career. I was in a different situation. I've certainly heard of situations like you're talking about.
And that's fine, but like still, to pay him that much above market value, was he that important? Like, because I was like in Seattle, Max Unger was there.
Yeah.
Fantastic center.
Right.
But still, it still wasn't like the most physically challenging position to play on the field. And like I say that with as much respect as I can. That's just like the rule of thumb that everybody went. Like the closer you are to the ball, the smarter you have to be, and like the less like physically dominant you have to be.
Unless you're going against unless you're in a division with a ton of odd fronts, then it changes a little bit because you're going to have
a little bit. But you're also doing a lot of 3 and 4 man slides in odd fronts.
Yeah.
Like if we got odd fronts and 2-jet, 3-jet projection, we ripping lizards where it was a 4-man slide because you lock down one side, you have your back go to the Mike to the nickel Sam or whatever it is. So there's a lot of slide protection. So anyway, very important position. I love I always had great relationships with the centers. That's like the biggest chemistry.
Doesn't sound like it.
That some people have to have as quarterback and center have to have a wild chemistry.
Yeah.
But this is a wildly overpaid.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
You could have got it done for much less, I think.
This was not
because you're bidding against nobody.
Classic.
Like the Ravens didn't tag him because he would have had to have a franchise tag at the left tackle number, so that's why they didn't tag him. There's no left tackle, or sorry, tackle in general, tackle, guard, center, offensive line franchise tag numbers all the same, and so you're not going to pay a center what you pay a top tier tackle. So Creed Humphrey was probably second.
He got 27 a year.
Creed
Humphrey is $18 million a year.
Yeah, it's not even, it's half of. I mean, what Creed Humphrey's making.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a significant overpay.
Yeah, the Raiders are going to Raider. So March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and it's an important reminder that colon cancer is common, but it's also preventable and highly treatable when caught early. Screening can actually detect precancerous situations before they even turn into cancer, which is why doctors recommend adults start screening at the age of 45. So, of course, like we're working with Oshner here, it's very important for them. And if you and your family have a history, they have an option for you. Like a colonoscopy remains the gold standard for screening. But for some people at lower risk, you had at-home stool tests that can be an option for you as well. So the thing is, they want to make sure that you are aware. There is options depending on your family history. So the key is having the conversation with your doctor. Establishing care with Oshner, primary care provider, can help guide you on the right screenings at the right time for you. Everybody's going to have a different situation. So you can schedule your appointment today at oshner.org/schedule or through the My Oshner app. Again, March, Colon Cancer Awareness Month. So schedule your appointment today at oshner.org/schedule or through the My Oshner app. All right, we'll close it out today with a little Ask the Bench when we jump back here live from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the Bench. Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn, presented by Community Steel.
Yeah, it is. Community Steel. Shout out. Also, shout out to somebody that Alondra was talking about earlier, Rejuve Me. RejuveMeMedical.com is the website. Go see them today. Multiple locations across Louisiana. Doesn't matter where you're listening to us. Up in the Port City.
13 locations.
Up in the Port City, they got one.
Oh, yeah.
They got you covered.
I mean, if you're hearing our voices, chances are that you got an amazing Rejuve Me clinic next to you, or near you at least, to go check what's happening. You don't have that zest for life. You want to feel like that youthful self again? Well, it's Rejuve Me Medical. RejuveMeMedical.com. Hormone replacement therapy, the Louisiana's leader for the last 10 years.
Wow.
So if you're going to do it, make sure you're doing it with the absolute best, because it makes you feel incredible. But it's not just that. It's peptides, it's cosmetics, it's weight loss, it's everything. Just give them a call. Set that initial appointment. See what they can do. Go to their website, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all today. Obviously, today the start was a little bit different.
Yep.
We were supposed to do a show out at U Club for U High Go Cubs. Technical difficulties. Musso, you know how he gets. He started just, talking to himself under his breath, getting real mad. So we had to come back in studio. So we appreciate you.
He's very Dobby the Elf.
Yeah, we appreciate you hanging out with us. We appreciate the adversity we had in the show. Always want to remind you before we get out of here about our friends over at Pelican Roofing. Right now, runforrufus.com, runforrufus.com. An incredible deal that they do all the time, every single year. Their mascot, Rufus, runs a 5K every single day for 30 days to raise awareness and rally support for local families in need. Again, runforrufus.com is the website. All right, we got a big day tomorrow. Shout out Coach Kim Mulkey. Joins us every Wednesday. Yep. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, go
we love you. We thank you.
Go USA.
USA. USA.
Erica.
Off the bench